Every human being is driven by two deep cravings, power and love. For men, it's usually the pursuit of love, which may surprise you, that drives them to be seen, accepted, and cared for. And for women, it's often the pursuit of power to feel secure, protected, and aligned with strength. And if you don't understand this dynamic, you'll always wonder why women are drawn to powerful men and repulsed by the powerless man, and why men feel empty, no matter how much power they have, without that love. So let's break down in this video why it matters so much in your relationship with women.
Okay, so why are power and love the two deepest human desires?
That's a deep question. We're gonna have to, I was always describe what we're not talking about, what we're talking about. So somebody hearing this may be like, power. I'm not power driven and I'm all about that love.
Right.
And somebody may be like, I'm not love driven. I'm all about that power.
Right.
And power usually has a negative connotation associated with it. But in today's convo, we're going to break down what actually power actually means and why it's a neutral term. It's actually not a negative term. Mm-hmm. Why love is also a neutral term. It's not positive. And so power, let's describe that first, is the ability to get what you want. Now, that is it. It is not the ability to dominate other people. Power has nothing to do with other people. Mm-hmm. Power has to do with the individual's ability to get what he wants, right? Not because you can get what you want means that the other person doesn't get what they want. In fact, one of the most common forms of power is money. Money, what is money? Money is a tool used to get access to the experiences of life that you want. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean in English? If I have financial power, what does that actually mean? Is that a negative thing? Clearly not, or everybody on this thing would want more money. So when they want more money, what are they saying? I want more access. I want more access to the experience. I want to live in a mansion. I'm not financially powerful enough to do so. So they can serve people in a way that generates more money until they accumulate that power to get more powerful. To my Dragon Ball Z fans out there, they become more powerful by accumulating more money. And now they can get access to something they didn't get access to before, which is that house, that mansion, that yacht, that trip, that whatever experience, maybe a woman, right? For some guys. Mm-hmm. So financial power is just the ability to get access to something, but is financial power the only form of power? No. You may have fitness. I'm strong. My body is good. You may have physical power. I can run a mile easily without running out of breath. I can lift heavy weight, right? I can take a punch. Maybe there's combat power. If somebody's trying to fight me, I can defend myself, right? All these different things are forms of power. It may have conversational power. I know how to speak with people in a way. That's what sales is. Sales is conversational power. I know how to speak with people in a way that inspires them to align with what I want them to do, right? And so that may go, well, isn't that bad? Like, if we get things from people, aren't we like using our power against the person? Well, think about it. When you purchase, let's say, a laptop, a Mac, and it's $1,000, right? Mac gives you their computer that they spent years working on, that excellent piece of hardware that you're going to be able to enjoy for years to come, and you trade for them the money. If the money was worth more to you than the MacBook, you wouldn't have traded for it.
Right.
If I gave you $1 and I had $1, shout out to Myron Golden for this example, you wouldn't want to trade for my $1 because you don't feel like, what's the point? It's equal. If you had a penny and I tried to trade for the $1, who would be more likely to want to take the $1? Right? The one with the penny. The guy with the $1 won't want to give trade with the guy with the penny. So we only give money for things that we value more than the money.
Right.
So in reality, the person with the money got the most value. Mm-hmm. Right? Because if you just have nothing but money, but you never use the money, if I gave you $1 billion and I said there's only one condition, it can never be spent, you wouldn't care about it. What's the point of it? The point of money is to give me access. It's about to help me get the shit I want. Right. It gives me power. Power is neutral. You can use that money to give you access to something that hurts somebody else. You can use the money to use it to get access to benefit somebody else's life. You can use it for charity water, where you give and have more people around the world give access to water, or you can use it to put a hit on somebody and take them out, or to fund a drug situation, or to fund a military pursuit. It's power, and you, as the wielder of power, determine how you use it. Right. Now, what's the alternative? Since you may be someone like, hey, well, I don't want to pursue power. That's power corrupts. Well, what's the alternative? Let's say there are those who are pursuing power that aren't as good a person as you. What happens? Well, you're at the mercy of them. Why? Because you're powerless. So the alternative to being powerful is to be powerless. And that's going to be really critical going down the line. So which would you prefer to be? As powerful as you can be, or as powerless as possible?
Right.
I think that answers itself.
Yep.
So becoming a person that can get more of what you want is already what every guy is doing. The only guy that doesn't do this is the guy that's already getting everything he wants. And the only guy that's already getting everything that he wants is the guy that's living in a small world. That's living a small life. I don't want to expand beyond where I am, and that's the key word, expansion. Power is the desire to expand into more.
Right.
The universe is expanding. Power, the expansion principle, is fundamental. It is the masculine desire to be more than he is, to keep building, to keep growing, to keep progressing. That is fueled by the desire for more power. I want to become more than I am. Somebody in a video game, he really wants to get good at the video game. That is the desire for power. I want to be somebody that's one of the best. Right. He can do something others can't do.
Right.
That's an expression of power. I can do something. I can get access to an experience others can't. Now, that's power. Right? That's going to be critical when it comes to women. Love, on the other hand, has to do with garnering the affection of someone else. Men tend to desire an attractive woman to want him. That fuels majority of male motivations, and if he's not heterosexual, it's affection of the same-sex partner or whatever he's into. So the desire for connection, affection, to be liked, to be integrated, to be united, to be bonded. We are social beings. Love is the connection principle.
Right.
It is that which connects us all. So as a man's moving through the world, he's like, I want the woman that I want to love me back.
Right.
So he sees her. He's like, man, that's the girl of my dreams. Only she likes me back. So the question then becomes, how do I get her to like me back? I got to find out what I think she likes. That's how most guys think about it. I need to find out what she likes. Oh, I heard she likes money. I'll get a lot of money. I heard she likes cars. I'll get a lot of cars. And so that's not always the case. Right? There's some guys who inherently like those things. However, if a guy is misguided and he's like, well, what do women that I want? They like men who are like this. And so they become sometimes somebody other than they would have naturally and authentically become.
Right.
Because of a particular woman. They wanted that particular type of woman's affection rather than the women that already desired the man that he was.
Right.
And so He's craving for love, and this is very common. You'll see, a guy, older guy, a lot of money. He doesn't go for the girl that he knows actually sincerely wants him back. You may pick a 21-year-old. He knows she's not there. He's 65 years old. She knows he's not her first choice. She didn't wake up that morning getting aroused by a 65-year-old man. Like, she didn't have that in her fantasy. When she was reading that erotica novel, she wasn't thinking of the 65-year-old man. But he wants her affection.
Right.
He wants access to her body. Her going, oh my God, you're so impressive. He wants her to play the part. And so, he needs to find out, well, what does she want? She wants power through me. I have the money. I have the connections. I can give her a greater experience of life, give her access to resources and experience that she can't get on her own, or it'd be very difficult to get on her own. So she goes, you do have something I want. And they have an exchange. Now, relationships that are not built upon transactions aren't grounded in that. However, what women are drawn to sexually and what men are drawn to sexually are women are drawn to men who prioritize becoming more than they are. They're always looking to expand. And if we said expansion is the power principle, women are drawn to men that are always looking to become more powerful. Now, why would that benefit the woman? Because if she's aligned with him, the more powerful he becomes, the more power she gets access to. The more experiences of life she gets access to. That's why women tend to be drawn to men that are better than them, who are higher up than them, that make more money. That's instinctual in the woman is, I want a man that can give me access to things that I can't give myself access to.
Right.
Whether that be through knowledge, experiences, or whatsoever.
Right.
And men are not looking for women primarily for power. Like, men can seek power in women as well, and women seek love in men. We're talking about the primary focus thing, where if it's not there, it's a deal breaker, right? Women they don't care how much you love them. If you're a powerless dude, not happening. Guys, don't care how much power the woman has. If she's not in love with him, she doesn't have the affection, no thank you. So, men are seeking in women. How does she speak to me? How does she think about me? Does she lust me? How much affection does this woman have for me?
Right.
How much of my or her heart do I occupy? And you can test this by if a woman says, hey, I'll be with you, but I don't love you. I'll be with you, but I love another man more than you. Right. That usually will bother a man. He's like, well, if you don't love me, even if he's bringing all the resources to the table, the power to the table, he wants the affection of that woman that he wants. If she's not willing to give it to him, he's very reluctant to create a union between those two. And so all human beings, to recap, are looking to do two things: to become more than they are, to grow, or to become more connected to the people they wanted to connect to, to share bonds, to get love. And that's the masculine principle, power and expansion. Feminine principle, love and connection.
Okay. So, why do women naturally desire power in men, and while men crave love for women? You kind of already answered that.
Yeah. But to recap that very shortly, it's for a woman, like, you have to understand that women fundamentally prefer a state of flow. Women they can be self-sufficient, but prefer to be with a man who can give her the option to be self-sufficient or not have to be self-sufficient. So she put it in normal term, a guy who she can either choose to work or not work. She'd prefer to have it that way. If it's not always the case where it's like, well, if he can't make me stop working, unless she's just like very shallow. If he can't make me stop working, I don't want him, even if he has everything else. Because she already has to take care of herself either way. So pairing with a man doesn't change anything. In fact, it probably takes some of the burden off. But instinctually, she's paying attention to a man's trajectory. Is he becoming more powerful or less powerful over time?
Mm-hmm.
So if she meets a man that's maybe not where like his ultimate version is, but she observes his trajectory going up, she'd be like, okay, I'm willing, even if she makes more. That's just very common. Even if she's further along financially at the time, let's use financial power specifically, or maybe fitness power, health power. So she'll be paying attention to his trajectory. So it's like, is his vision being reflected in his action? And if he keeps showing up in this way, where are we going to end up together?
Right.
And she's paying attention to that. She's like, oh, where he's headed, I know he's going to get there. So I'm willing to take that risk with that particular man, even if he's not where I know he will be right now. Right. And so a woman is calculating for that naturally. Whereas a man is calculating for usually loyalty, but that's really big, especially if you think about it more primitively, where there was no way to paternity test. There was no, like, if a woman, the purpose of a woman is to build a family with, right? Because he's going to have to take that woman on as a dependent, right? A woman is not looking to have a man that's a dependent. A woman wants the optionality of being dependent. That's why with dates, the expectation is there. The expectation of dependency is always there. Will you pay for it? Even if she makes more, she still expects him to pay for it, which is whatever, right? The expectation of dependency is there for a woman, because if a woman gets pregnant by a man, she's in the most vulnerable state a human being can be in, probably other than a baby, right? So it's fundamentally built into her to know that when I'm pregnant by this man, I'll have to be his dependent or I'll be vulnerable. Now, in modern times, that's not always how it plays out. But from a biological standpoint, she understands that no matter what, the man she chooses, she'll be the dependent of.
Right.
And so it's wired in her to seek a man that can sustain himself and sustain her before she pairs with him, or has the evidence of eventually being able to sustain. Now, that's different from who she's sexually attracted to, right? That's why you'll have a lot of things where a woman has a child for a man, but is actually not his kid, or she pairs with another man that could sustain her and the child, but she's not sexually aroused by him. So she has a child for another guy, right? Or she cheats on him with another guy, right? So if we pair that and we go, okay, well, what is a man seeking? A man looking for loyalty, because there's no paternity test or anything throughout nature. So he doesn't really know how to know whether or not the woman will be loyal to him or be good to his children. All these factors, right? So he needs to be able to go, okay, does she actually want me? Now, in different times where it was just force, there are times and eras where that wasn't a factor, right? I don't care. As long as you're beautiful, you're mine, you're property. However, we're talking about in the modern times, what is driving the desire? It's, I want to be loved back. I want that woman to want me. And so in her wanting him back is an increase in his identity and his internal status or his self-perception. If a woman like that all the guys wants me instead of them, I must be the guy. I must be him.
Right.
And so a man wants that feeling of, I'm that guy. Look at the quality of women that want me. And if he's looking to build with her, then he needs to know that she's fully invested in him so that she doesn't betray him for the man that she actually wants.
Right. Okay. So how does this balance play out in healthy versus unhealthy relationships?
In unhealthy relations, again, men and women want power in each other, power and love in each other. So it's not like men only want love and women only want power. Women want love from men too. Men want power from women too. Just a different form of power, right? Or different power in different areas. So in an unhealthy dynamic, it's usually transactional, right? The woman may only focus on the man's power. This is the money conversation. I'm all about the bag.
Right.
And then a man might be only focused on the woman's love. This can manifest in two ways. He can only be focused on the woman's love in a way where he's a bum. And all he prioritizes is, as long as I have you, right? But completely ignores his responsibilities as a man. Or he really focuses on his responsibilities as a man. But everything he does is so the woman doesn't leave him. right? So it's like, oh, okay, look at what I'm doing. You're going to stay, right? Look at how I'm getting a job. You're going to stay, right? Look how much money I'm making. You're going to stay. So it's a very unhealthy relationship with her love, or his desire for her love, more accurately.
And there's the aspect of that too, that's like he's hyper focused on her love in a way that's like, anything I can do to get her to stay, in a way where it's manipulation or those type of things too. Yeah.
Right. I'll do whatever. I'll use dark tactics. I'll, whatever the hell I need to say to make sure that this source of love never leaves me.
Right.
Because I want her the most, and I can't risk her going to another man. Right. The woman would be more like an unhealthy dynamic where the man is just a means to an end. It's just a utility. Right. It's like, okay, as long as he's powerful, I'll, whatever. Right. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care about if I don't like him. I don't care. And so that dynamic will lead to a situation, or sometimes the woman may leverage her form of power and start to abuse the man with her power, just like the man can abuse the woman with her. So that can manifest itself in a variety of ways, but it usually becomes unhealthy, funnily enough, when the individual don't love the other person enough to, if it's unhealthy for them, let them go.
Right.
It's usually about what I want from them rather than what they get from me. Meaning it's not, if I know that, okay, their love for me is waning and they don't want to be here anymore, if my focus is, well, that's cool and all, but I still want you to love me. And so I don't give a damn about that. Or if the guy is like, well, I don't want to keep giving you access to this power, whether that look like money. She's like, well, I still want the money. So I don't really care about whether or not you want to still give me money. And she's like, I don't really care about whether or not you still want to give me love. And that's usually where the darker sides of, I'm going to get what I want by any means necessary, even if I have to do things that are not the best character-wise.
Right. So what happens when either side is missing? Oh, wait. You didn't explain how it plays out in healthy relationships.
In healthy too?
Yeah, it said healthy and unhealthy.
Well, in healthy relationships, there's a fundamental understanding that each being is sovereign. And so when it comes to my increase in power as a man or her increase in power as a woman, it's not something where it's focused upon my needs solely and what I want out of the dynamic. Meaning, it's not like I want her to love me and that's my primary focus. I have to look at the other side of the equation, which is, does she want to love me? Right. That's usually where the health comes in. Does she want to love me? The moment she says she no longer wants to love me, okay. Right. I don't fight her. I don't try to wrestle her. Similarly, if it's love or power, right, because we didn't really go into female power, but that's a little more complicated. And it's not the primary thing men crave from women anyway. So it's not, I could have gone into it, but it would derail things in a way that's not that beneficial. Whereas from women towards men, if she understands like, well, his financial power, because just usually the form of power that's the most talked about. Like there are various forms, but let's use financial power. I'm not entitled to his financial power, just like he's not entitled to my love. Right? Love may look like sex, it may look like whatever the hell. Right? Because usually men perceive sex unequally. Like me having sex with her is less valuable, or more valuable than her having sex with me. So because they perceive that an imbalance, they tend to value sex with the woman more than they think the woman values sex with them. So if that's the case, then it's like I'm in pursuit of trying to convince her to keep having sex with me, rather than understanding when you're amazing in bed, it'd be the other way around, or at least equal, right? But going back to the power thing, the healthy dynamic will come from, I know that he's not entitled to take care of me.
Right.
And I need to show up in a certain way to make sure he wants to keep doing so. And so when a woman understands that and a man understands, I'm not entitled to anything, there's a sovereign being, the only reason we're in this relationship is because it's agreed upon.
Right, we both choose to.
And when the choice of the other person is respected, then usually people show up in a way that's better because they know that I want to encourage this person to do this thing for me, to be in this thing with me, rather than feel like I'm entitled for them to do this for me. And that's usually when the deterioration comes in, where you feel like they owe it to you.
Right. So then what happens when either side is missing? Like when power is missing or love is missing?
Well, I guess a simple one. You just have to imagine, as a man, which one would you pick? A woman that's not powerful but loves you deeply, or a woman that's very powerful but loveless? Right? The first one is like, oh, that just sounds like a normal woman. In a man's mind, he's like, a billionaire. There's not the kind of power that he's thinking about, or he would actually benefit from, isn't the kind of power she can give him. A young, beautiful girl. He wants her affection.
Right.
That's his value. So he's like, I could get a woman that's powerful like me, but doesn't have much love or affection, no softness, no feminine, or a woman that has no power like me, but is very affectionate. A guy's going to take the affectionate woman 10 times out of 10 because he doesn't need her power in that way. He needs her affection. With a woman, if she were to go, which one am I going to pick? The guy that loves me to death but is powerless to protect me or provide or all these things, or the man that's a protector and provider but is far less loving, right? Most women are going to pick the powerful man, right? As long as her physical is not in jeopardy. There might not be that spark, right? But this guy is rich, right? This is a common transaction.
Right.
You're like, okay. And I'm going to play this out for about 5 years and then but I'm damn sure not going to pick the guy who's powerless but's like, honey, I'll be with you forever. She's like, no.
Absolutely not.
Right. You're powerless.
Yes.
And the guy's like, you're loveless. You're affectionless. Ugh, you feel like a man. And the woman go, ugh, you feel like a child.
Yep. So if a man wants to step into this dynamic the right way, what's one thing he should focus on?
Getting that money or not. But it's not. The money stuff that you're online is actually not the primary thing.
Right.
Your power, because you have mental power, the ability to expand a woman's mind. Honestly, I just say very simply, understand that your self-sufficiency is paramount. You got to be able to live in a way where if you were all you had, you'd survive. Now, in terms of women, in terms of like his relationship with women, I'd say he needs to, this kind of ties to the last video, but he needs to focus on women that want to give him their affection, because at the end of the day, that's what he wants, rather than focus on women who want his power. Focus is very different. Most guys pick women who are attracted to their power but do not want to give them affection. A man must find a woman who wants to give him affection, and his power is a benefit. She'll always be drawn to your power, so you can't change that, just like you'll always be drawn to her affection. But if she's does not want to give you, focus on where does her affection lie? Does she gladly want to give you affection, or does she unwillingly and doesn't want to give it to you? But you're like, well, the power is there. When you have a woman who does not want to give you affection, when she does not want to give you affection, you're about to get used for your power. And a lot of guys get played like that. A lot of guys get betrayed like that. A lot of guys get cheated on like that because she never wanted to give you the affection to begin with. So you're not her first choice, but you have benefits to you. And so if you want to figure out how do you inspire a woman to go from stranger to a woman that gives you affection, there's a new training that only 10 guys will be allowed into in the beginning. There's a wait list in the description down below. It's called Hypnotic Conversations. Hypnotic Conversations focuses on speaking to a woman in a way that arouses her, right? Remember, the big thing, the big quote-unquote elephant in the room is you approach that woman because you wanted to have sex with that woman. It might not be all you wanted, but if it's not on the table, you wouldn't want to pair with her. You don't want to find out, oh, you were never a guy I was into like that. Well, how do you find that out? How do you inspire and trigger, more accurately, something called erotic resonance within a woman, where there's a mutual feeling of sexual desire? How do you inspire and encourage and express sexual charisma within yourself to where you're pretty much a walking sex magnet to the kind of woman that's for you, right? That's what Hypnotic Conversations will be about. It's how to get women that are good for you to be addicted to your presence, so that as you focus on increasing and improving your power, she's drawn to you naturally. So you know she's there for the right reasons. Because nobody wants to be powerless and nobody wants to not be loved. So if that's something you're interested in, it might be not available by the time you see this. But if it is, join the wait list down below. I'll be sending an email on the first 10 guys to get it. That'll be our first cohort. And after that, you will not be allowed in. Till next time, hope you enjoyed.